Dame Patricia Routledge. She was an English actress and singer, widely recognized for portraying Hyacinth Bucket in the BBC sitcom Keeping Up Appearances, 1990. The role earned her a BAFTA TV Award nomination for Best Light Entertainment Performance in 1992. Routledge began her professional stage career at the Liverpool Playhouse in 1952 and later made her Broadway debut in How's the World Treating You, 1966. She won the Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical in 1968 for Darling of the Day, and 2 decades later received the Olivier Award for Best Actress in a Musical for Candide, 1988. On screen, she appeared in films such as To Sir with Love, 1967, and Don't Raise the Bridge, Lower the River. She later took on the lead role of Hetty Wainthropp in the television series Hetty Wainthropp Investigates, 1990. In recognition of her contributions to entertainment and charitable work, she was appointed Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire, DBE, by Queen Elizabeth II in 2017. On January 17, 2025, Routledge was granted the freedom of the Borough of Wirral. She was born 1929 and died October 3, 2025. She was 96 years, died peacefully in her sleep. Javier Manrique. He was a Peruvian actor and talent agent who spent much of his professional life in Spain. He gained recognition for his work across film, television, and theater, and was particularly noted for his frequent collaborations with filmmaker Alex de la Iglesia. Manrique started out with minor roles on Spanish television, including appearances in the series Pharmacy on Duty during the early 1990s. Over time, he established himself as a reliable character actor, taking on roles in both comedic and dramatic productions. Alongside his acting work, Manrique also built a career as a talent agent. He founded Manrique Management, through which he represented a range of performers in Spain. Died October 3, 2025, he was 56 years. Jerry Leggio. He was an American actor whose film credits included Sounder, Sister, The Badge, and American Violet. On television, he appeared in episodes of In the Heat of the Night and portrayed Dr. Bonham in American Horror Story, Freak Show. He was also featured in television films such as The Ernest Green Story, Ruffian, and Mothman. Earlier in his career, he appeared in uncredited roles in the films Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte, and Alvarez Kelly. He was born 1935 and died October 1, 2025. He was 90 years, due to a long illness. Remo Garrone. He was an Italian film, television, and stage actor. He was best known for his role as Tonno Caridi in the long-running television drama, The Octopus. Over a career spanning 5 decades, Garrone appeared in numerous Italian and international productions, including Corleone, 1978, The Seagull, Live by Night, and Ford v Ferrari, 2019, in which he portrayed Enzo Ferrari. Garrone made his screen debut in the early 1970s, with appearances in films such as Rome Wants Caesar Back, 1972, and The Antichrist, 1974. Beyond his work in Italian cinema, Garrone also took roles in international productions. In 2016, he portrayed Italian-American mob boss Masso Pescatore in Ben Affleck's Live by Night. Died October 3, 2025, at the age of 76. Arthur Jones. He was an American professional football player who played 8 seasons in the National Football League as a defensive end. Jones played college football at Syracuse before being selected by the Baltimore Ravens in the 5th round of the 2010 NFL Draft. He was part of the Ravens team that won Super Bowl 47. Over the course of his career, he also played for the Indianapolis Colts and Washington Redskins. He was the older brother of former UFC heavyweight champion John Jones and NFL defensive end Chandler Jones, both of whom also won world championships in their respective sports. In November 2006, during a game at Raymond James Stadium against the South Florida Bulls, Jones recovered the first fumble of his college career and recorded a career-high 5 tackles. He appeared in every game that season, finishing with 15 tackles and 1 fumble recovery. He was born 1986 and died October 3, 2025, at the age of 39. Alan Miller. He was an American mountaineer recognized for his solo ascents in regions such as Patagonia, Canada, and Alaska. Among his notable achievements was becoming the first person to complete a solo ascent of the Slovak direct route on Denali in Alaska. He died in an accident while climbing El Capitan in Yosemite National Park, California. In January 2025, he made the second ascent of the demanding Grade 7 ice climb Reality Bath in the Canadian Rockies, completing it solo. On October 1, 2025, Miller died in a climbing accident on Sea of Dreams, a demanding 8-climbing route on El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. The incident, which was captured on a TikTok livestream, occurred when he rappelled off the end of his rope. Such accidents are commonly attributed to the failure to tie a stopper knot at the rope's end. Ivan Klima. He was a Czech novelist and playwright. Over the course of his career, he received several major literary honors, including the Magnesia Litera Award and the Franz Kafka Prize. Klima wrote graphically about his internment in the Terezin concentration camp in articles for the British literary magazine Granta, particularly in A Childhood in Terezin. Reflecting on the experience, he observed that anyone who has been through a concentration camp as a child, who has been completely dependent on an external power which can at any moment come in and beat or kill him and everyone around him, probably moves through life at least a bit differently from people who have been spared such an education. That life can be snapped like a piece of string. That was my daily lesson as a child. Died October 4, 2025. He was 94 years. Paul van Broostegem. He was a Belgian musician, songwriter, and producer. He was best known as the longtime bassist of the rock band Triggerfinger, which he joined in 2003. During his 2 decades with the group, he contributed to their distinctive hard rock and blues-influenced sound on several studio albums and international tours. Following his tenure with Triggerfinger, he pursued a solo career under the name Mr. Paul and the Lowriders, exploring a broader range of musical styles. He began his musical career in the 1980s, working as a session bassist and collaborating with a variety of Belgian and international acts, including the Wolfbanes, Beverly Joe Scott, and the Popgun. Died October 4, 2025. He was 66 years. Died after a period of illness. James Mitchum. He was an American actor. Mitchum made his first screen appearance at the age of 8, in an uncredited role in the Western film Colorado Territory, 1949, which starred Joel McCrea, Virginia Mayo, and Dorothy Malone. His credited film debut came in Thunder Road, 1958, in which he portrayed his father's much younger brother. The role had originally been written for Elvis Presley, who was interested in performing it until financial demands from his manager prevented the casting. The film went on to become a drive-in cult favorite, especially during its revivals in the 1970s. Over the course of his career, Mitchum appeared in more than 30 films. His credits included The Beat Generation, 1959, The Victors, 1963, and the surf drama Ride the Wild Surf, 1964, in which he played a surfer nicknamed Eskimo. Died September 2025. He was 84 years. Died due to a long illness. And B. Walker. She was an American journalist, editor, radio host, and entrepreneur. Walker gained recognition as the first woman to provide broadcast coverage of the Ohio legislature for NBC4 and later became the first woman to hold a management role in both the station's and the city's broadcast history. In 1978, she was honored with induction into the Ohio Women's Hall of Fame for her pioneering role as a legislative broadcaster. She also became the first African-American woman from Franklin County to receive a presidential appointment. Walker celebrated her 100th birthday in November 2023. In 1949, Walker joined the Ohio Sentinel, one of the earliest African-American newspapers in Columbus, where she worked as a journalist, editor, and columnist. Among her most recognized contributions was a column titled, "And Walker's Party Line." In 1970, Walker took on a civic role as a member of the Columbus Consumer Protection Committee. Died October 5th. She was 101 years due to pancreatic cancer. Kimberly Hébert Gregory. She was an American actress who started her career on the stage before gaining wider attention in 2016 with her portrayal of Dr. Belinda Brown in the HBO comedy series Vice Principals. She later provided the voice of Nicole Williams in the animated series Craig of the Creek. She completed her secondary education at the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts in her hometown of Houston. In 1994, she earned a bachelor's degree in psychology from Mount Holyoke College. In 1994, she completed a bachelor's degree in psychology at Mount Holyoke College. She went on to spend a term in the MFA acting program at the theater school at DePaul University, and later, in 2002, earned a master's degree in social work from the University of Chicago School of Social Service Administration. By the late 1990s, she was active in productions with the Chicago Theater Company. In 1998, her performance in Shaken the Mess Outta Misery earned her a Joseph Jefferson Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress in a Play. Years later, in 2012, Hébert Gregory received a Drama Desk Award nomination for Outstanding Featured Actress in a play for her role in, by the way, Meet Vera Stark. Hébert Gregory later made appearances in the television series The Act, The Chi, and All Rise. In 2019, she co-starred in the romantic drama film 5 Feet Apart. In early 2017, she was cast opposite Toni Collette in the ABC action comedy drama Pilot Unit Zero produced by Kenya Barris. Died October 3rd. She was 52 years. Cause is not given, according to her ex-husband Chester on social media. Sue Catwoman. She was a British actress and model closely associated with the early punk movement in London. Active in the scene from 1976 to 1978, Lucas became a muse for photographer Bob Gruen and formed friendships with members of the Sex Pistols. Her trademark hairstyle, inspired by feline features, became an enduring symbol of punk culture and was later highlighted in outlets such as The Guardian and News of the World. Her image went on to influence figures in popular culture, including musician Keith Flint, as well as fashion houses and designers such as Junya Watanabe, Chanel, Obey, and Mugler. She first experimented with what would become her signature hairstyle in 1972, spiking the sides of her hair as a nod to the Bride of Frankenstein and adding a fringe streaked with pink. By 1976, tired of the effort required to maintain the look, she had the center of her head shaved at a barbershop in Ealing, creating the style that later became her trademark. She also appeared on the cover of the band's debut single, Magic Mirror, released as a 7-inch in 1980. Died September 30th. She was 70 years after falling to a coma. Dame Jilly Cooper. She was an English journalist and novelist, widely recognized for creating the long-running Rutshire Chronicles series. Beginning her professional life in journalism, she authored several non-fiction titles focused on subjects such as social class, animals, and marriage before moving into fiction. Her debut romance novel was published in 1975, and she later became a leading voice in British popular fiction, admired for her sharp social observations and portrayals of upper-middle-class society. Cooper's debut newspaper column paved the way for her first book, How to Stay Married, published in 1969. The following year, she released another practical guide titled How to Survive from 9 to 5. A selection of her journalistic pieces was later compiled into the 1971 collection Jolly Super. Cooper's most famous writings are the Rutshire Chronicles novels. The first installment, Riders, 1985, became an international bestseller and marked the beginning of the long-running series. Died October 5th. She was 88 years. Died following a fall. John Woodvine. He was an English actor whose career spanned over 70 stage productions and a comparable number of film and television appearances. He received his early education at Lord Williams's School in Thame, Oxfordshire, and later studied acting at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, from which he graduated in 1953. Woodvine enjoyed a lengthy association with the Royal Shakespeare Company. In 1976, he portrayed Banquo alongside Ian McKellen and Judi Dench in Trevor Nunn's acclaimed production of Macbeth, which was later adapted for television. He also featured in the company's landmark 1980 staging of the life and adventures of Nicholas Nickleby, playing the principal villain, Ralph Nickleby. His film credits include An American Werewolf in London, 1981, directed by John Landis, and Young Winston, 1972, directed by Richard Attenborough. Died October 6th. He was 96 years due to pneumonia and COPD. Ben Lewis. He was an Australian actor and bartender best known for portraying the title role in the original Australian production of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Love Never Dies. In 2017, he returned to the stage to reprise the role of the Phantom in the original West End production of The Phantom of the Opera. His other prominent stage roles included portraying Chad in the UK tour of Love Me Tender and Frank Farmer in The Bodyguard. In 2018, he appeared as Larry in the West End revival of Company. He trained with the Australian Theatre for Young People and later received a Lend-Lease scholarship that enabled him to continue his studies abroad, where he studied voice at the Royal College of Music. Died October 6th. He was 46 years due to bowel cancer. Xavier Duringer. He was a French playwright, screenwriter, novelist, and film director. Known for his raw and socially conscious writing style, he was regarded as one of the most prominent contemporary voices in French theater and cinema. His works often explored urban life, marginality, and identity, using naturalistic dialogue and street vernacular. He studied acting and directing at Acting International in Paris under Robert Cordier. In the late 1980s, he founded his own theater company, The Lizard, where many of his early plays were first staged. He was born 1963 and died October 4th. He was 61 years, due to heart attack. Bobby Allen. He was an American race car driver best known for competing in winged sprint car events. Until his death, he owned Shark Racing, a World of Outlaws sprint car team that fielded 2 entries driven by his son, Jacob Allen, and his grandson, Logan Schuckert. Allen began racing at the age of 12 in Florida, competing in half-midget cars before advancing to kart racing. In 1960, he claimed victory at the World Champion Karting event held in Nassau, Bahamas, organized by the Go-Kart Club of America. He was born 1943 and died October 5, 2025. He was 81 years. Ken Jacobs. He was an American experimental filmmaker whose work frequently incorporated found footage that he re-edited and altered to create new meanings. In addition to his collage-style films, he also directed projects featuring his own original footage. In 1963, he directed Blonde Cobra, a short film featuring Jack Smith, who that same year created Flaming Creatures. Jacobs followed in 1969 with Tom, the Piper's Son, in which he reworked and reinterpreted a 1905 silent short by manipulating its footage, a film now regarded as one of the earliest examples of cinematic deconstruction. The work was added to the National Film Registry in 2007. Another of his major projects, Star Spangled to Death, 2004, runs nearly 7 hours and is composed primarily of found footage. Jacobs began assembling material for it in 1957, and the project took 47 years to complete. Died October 5, 2025, at the age of 92 years, due to kidney failure. Lotte Ledl. She was an Austrian actress of film, television, and stage. Over a career spanning more than 7 decades, she became known as one of Austria's most respected character actresses, appearing in more than 120 film and television productions. She developed an early interest in performing arts and studied acting at the Max Reinhardt Seminar, one of Austria's most prestigious drama schools. Ledl began her acting career in the early 1950s, performing at several of Austria's leading theaters, among them the Theater in der Großstadt and the Vienna Burgtheater. She achieved national prominence with her film debut in The Forester of the Silver Forest, 1954, a hallmark of the Heimat film genre and one of Austria's most successful post-war films. Died October 5, 2025, at the age of 95 years. Dennis Trudeau. He was a Canadian journalist and broadcaster, best known for his long association with the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Over the course of his career, he worked in Montreal as a host and news anchor for several of the network's radio and television programs. He studied political science and philosophy at the University of Ottawa and later earned a degree in journalism from the University of Western Ontario. Trudeau began his journalism career in the 1970s, working as a reporter for the Montreal Star and Montreal Gazette, covering Quebec politics and national affairs. In 1987, Trudeau transitioned to CBC television, where he became a well-known face to English-speaking audiences in Quebec. He anchored CBC Newswatch in Montreal from 1987 until his retirement in 2006. He also hosted events and conducted media training workshops through his own communications business. Died October 6, 2025, at the age of 77 years, due to cancer. Franz Joseph Wagner. He was a German journalist and author who served as editor-in-chief of Bunt and later of the tabloid BZ. He also founded the German edition of Elle magazine and authored several books, one of which was later adapted for television. In the early 1960s, he began his journalism career with Bild in Munich. By 1966, Wagner had joined the Axel Springer publishing group in Hamburg, where he also worked for a period as a war correspondent. In 1988, he transitioned to Hubert Burda Media in Munich, serving as editor-in-chief of Bunt. That same year, alongside fellow journalist Gunter Prins, he helped launch the German editions of Elle and Superillu magazines. He was born 1943 and died October 7, 2025, at the age of 82 years. Claire Celsai. She was an American politician and businesswoman who served in the Iowa Senate, representing District 16 in central Iowa. A member of the Democratic Party, Celsai held the seat from 2019 until her death in 2025. In addition to her political career, she founded and operated a marketing and public relations agency, the Public Relations Project, which she incorporated in 2009. In 2002, she left the Des Moines Public Library to join the marketing agency Flynn Wright as a public relations executive. 2 years later, in 2004, she took on a similar role at the firm Strategic America. Celsai won the Democratic primary on June 5, 2018, defeating Connie Ryan, and later prevailed over Republican candidate Brian Bales in the general election that November. She was re-elected in 2022, defeating Republican challenger Bradley D. Price of West Des Moines with 58% of the vote, according to unofficial results. Died October 6, 2025, at the age of 59 years, due to undisclosed illness. Sir John Gordon. He was a British developmental biologist recognized for his groundbreaking work in nuclear transplantation and the early development of cloning research. Awarded the Lasker Award in 2009, he shared the 2012 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine with Shinya Yamanaka for discovering that mature cells can be reprogrammed to become stem cells. Gordon spent much of his research career at the MRC Laboratory of Molecular Biology and later in the Department of Zoology at the University of Cambridge. In 1989, he co-founded the Wellcome/CRC Institute for Cell Biology and Cancer, which was renamed the Gordon Institute in his honor in 2004. He served as its chairman until 2001. Gordon was a member of the Nuffield Council on Bioethics in 1991 and served as Master of Magdalene College, Cambridge, from 1995. He was elected a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 1978 and the United States National Academy of Sciences in 1980. Died October 7, 2025, at the age of 92 years. Joan Bennett Kennedy. She was an American socialite, author, and advocate, best known as the first wife of U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy. In 1992, she published a guide to classical music and later became involved in mental health awareness, using her own experiences to highlight issues related to addiction and recovery. In 1982, Bennett earned a master's degree in education from Lesley College, now Lesley University. As a teenager, she worked as a model, appearing in television advertisements. In 1992, she published The Joy of Classical Music, a guide for you and your family. Kennedy was active in children's charities, remained an accomplished pianist, and taught classical music to children. She attended Ted Kennedy's funeral at the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport. As of 2005, she lived in Boston, Massachusetts, and Cape Cod. She was born 1936 and died October 8th. At the age of 89 years, died at her home. Halid Beslik. He was a Bosnian folk singer and musician who performed professionally from 1979 until his death in 2025. His career was among the most successful in the former Yugoslavia and continued to flourish across the Balkans. He began performing in local restaurants and after several years released his first recordings, 8 singles between 1979 and 1982. His debut studio album, titled Sajidi Sterak, Grey Old Man, was released in 1981. By 1984, his popularity grew significantly, with songs like I Don't Want Diamonds, and Always, Always Be Happy, gaining wide recognition across Yugoslavia. In the 1990s, amid the breakup of Yugoslavia and the war in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Beslik organized over 500 humanitarian concerts throughout Europe to support victims from his homeland. Over the course of his career, he released 18 albums and performed at numerous concerts across the region. Died October 7th at the age of 71 years due to liver problems. Ace Fincham. He was a British drummer, best known as a founding member of the glam metal band Tiger Tails. Active primarily in the 1980s and 1990s, he was recognized for his energetic drumming style and contributions to the early British glam and heavy metal scene. He developed an interest in drumming during his teenage years and became involved in the local rock scene, performing with several short-lived bands before joining professional acts in the early 1980s. In 1984, Fincham co-founded Tiger Tails, a Welsh glam metal band known for its flamboyant image and high-energy performances. With Fincham on drums, the group released its debut album Young and Crazy, 1987, followed by the commercially successful Berserk, 1990, and Bonsai, 1991. Died October 8, 2025, at the age of 62. Ron Dean. He was an American actor who worked in both film and television. Throughout his career, he appeared in several notable movies such as Rudy, Risky Business, The Breakfast Club, Cocktail, The Babe, The Fugitive, The Client, and The Dark Knight. He was frequently cast as detectives or law enforcement figures, with one of his best-known roles being Detective Marion Zeke Crumb in the fantasy comedy drama series Early Edition. He was born 1938 and died October 5th, at the age of 87. Mike Greenwell. He was an American professional baseball player who spent his entire Major League Baseball career with the Boston Red Sox, debuting in 1985. In 1997, he briefly played 7 games for Japan's Hanshin Tigers before retiring from professional baseball. Nicknamed the Gator, Greenwell was a left-handed batter and a right-handed thrower. He finished 4th in the 1987 Rookie of the Year voting and was a top contender for the American League Most Valuable Player Award in 1988, ultimately placing 2nd behind Jose Canseco, who achieved MLB's first 40-40 season that year. Greenwell was selected by the Boston Red Sox in the 3rd round of the 1982 Major League Baseball draft and signed with the team on June 9th of that year. During his time with Boston, he faced high expectations associated with the franchise's storied history in left field, a position previously held by legendary players such as Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, and Jim Rice, each of whom earned MVP honors, contended for Triple Crowns, and were later inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Died October 9th at the age of 62 years due to thyroid cancer. Wanda Pertlewitz. She was a German actress best known for her portrayal of Nina Sieveking in the long-running television series Großstadt Revier. She was also active in theater and appeared in several other German film and television productions throughout her career. She developed an interest in acting at a young age and later studied at the Ernst Busch Academy of Dramatic Arts in Berlin, one of the country's most prestigious performing arts institutions. Her breakthrough role came when she joined the cast of the ARD television series Big City Precinct, playing police officer Nina Sieveking. Her performance in the series, which depicted the daily challenges and personal stories of police officers in Hamburg's 14th precinct, made her a household name in Germany. Pertlewitz also maintained a presence in German theater, performing at several major venues, including theaters in Hamburg and Berlin. She was born 1984 and died October 8th, at the age of 41 years, died as a result of a bicycle accident. Paolo Bonicelli. He was an Italian actor known for his work in both theater and film. Bonicelli completed his training at the National Academy of Dramatic Arts in Rome. Bonicelli graduated from the National Academy of Dramatic Arts in Rome. His stage debut came in 1962 when he joined the Teatro Popolare under the direction of Vittorio Gassman in Questa Sera si recita a soggetto. His commanding presence and distinctive baritone voice quickly made him a sought-after actor in Italian theater. Bonicelli's film career began in the early 1960s. He gained international recognition for his role as the Duke de Blanghese in Pier Paolo Pasolini's controversial film Salo, or The 120 Days of Sodom, 1975. Other notable film appearances include Midnight Express, 1978, and others. He was born 1937 and died October 8th, at the age of 88 years. Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick. She was an American politician who served as the U.S. representative for Michigan's 15th Congressional District and later for the 13th District, beginning in 1997. A member of the Democratic Party, she was defeated in the August 2010 Democratic primary by Hanson Clark, who succeeded her in January 2011 after winning the general election. Kilpatrick was also the mother of former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. She completed her education at Detroit High School of Commerce and began her career as a high school teacher. In 1979, she entered politics as a member of the Michigan House of Representatives. She was among 31 House Democrats who voted against counting the 20 electoral votes from Ohio in the 2004 presidential election, which were ultimately awarded to Republican President George W. Bush, who carried the state by 118,457 votes. She was born 1945 and died October 7th, at the age of 80 years. John Lodge. He was an English musician best known for his role as the bass guitarist, co-lead vocalist, and songwriter for the long-running rock band The Moody Blues. In addition to his work with the group, he also pursued projects as a record producer and collaborated with various artists outside the band. He attended Birch's Green Infant and Junior School, followed by Central Grammar School, and later studied engineering at the Birmingham College of Advanced Technology. His musical inspirations included artists such as Buddy Holly and Jerry Lee Lewis. At the age of 14, he met Ray Thomas, who would later become his bandmate. Lodge was a prolific songwriter for the Moody Blues, contributing tracks such as Peak Hour and Evening Time to Get Away, among others. In 1980, he released a standalone solo single, Street Cafe, backed with Threw It All Away, under the Decca label. In September 2019, Lodge received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the annual Prague Awards organized by Prague Magazine in London. died October 10, 2025, at the age of 82 years. Carlos Barbosa. He was a Colombian actor known for his work in film, television, and theater. Among his television roles, Mr. Barbosa is best remembered for Euripides, a homosexual hairdresser, in the 1987 telenovela The Divine, and Ernesto in the 1992 sitcom Secret Flight. Mr. Barbosa also appeared in the 2004 soap opera The Saga. Died October 10, 2025, at the age of 81 years, cause is not given. Sister Jean. She was an American member of the Sisters of Charity of the Blessed Virgin Mary and served as the chaplain for the Loyola Ramblers men's basketball team at Loyola University Chicago. Sister Jean started her teaching career at St. Bernard School in Glassell Park, California, and in 1946, she relocated to St. Charles Borromeo School in North Hollywood to continue her work in education. In 1991, following the merger with Mundelein College, she joined Loyola University Chicago. 3 years later, she took on the role of team chaplain for the Loyola Ramblers men's basketball team. She attended the 2022 NCAA tournament after Loyola qualified, with USA Today reporting that she remained in good health at the time. Died October 9, 2025, at the age of 106 years. Tommy Price. He was an American musician best known as a drummer who performed with several notable bands, including Scandal, Billy Idol, Blue Oyster Cult, and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Over the course of his career, he was also highly regarded as a sought-after session drummer. By the age of 16, Price had already begun touring as a drummer. One of his early major opportunities came with the band Scandal, for whom he played on the album Warrior. He later went on to work with Billy Idol before joining Joan Jett and the Blackhearts in 1986, remaining a member of the group for more than 28 years. Tommy Price contributed to a track on NYC Made, the solo album by Ricky Byrd, former guitarist for Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, released in 2025. He also performed on the song titled Arenar's Demise, Has Been Greatly Exaggerated. Died October 10, 2025, at the age of 68 years. Diane Keaton. She was an American actress recognized for her prominent film roles and distinctive sense of style. Over a career that spanned more than 50 years, she became well known for her frequent collaborations with filmmaker Woody Allen, appearing in 8 of his films. Her work earned her numerous honors, including an Academy Award, a BAFTA Award, and 2 Golden Globe Awards, as well as nominations for 2 Emmy Awards and a Tony Award. She was celebrated with the film at Lincoln Center Gala Tribute in 2007 and received the AFI Life Achievement Award in 2017. Keaton received additional Academy Award nominations for her performances as activist Louise Bryant in Reds, 1981, a leukemia patient in Marvin's Room, 1996, and a playwright in Something's Gotta Give, 2003. She was also noted for her dramatic roles in films such as Looking for Mr. Goodbar, 1977, and Crimes of the Heart, 1986. Her biggest box office success of the 1990s was the 1996 comedy The First Wives Club. Keaton's next major hit came with the 2003 romantic comedy Something's Gotta Give, directed by Nancy Meyers and co-starring Jack Nicholson. In November 2011, Keaton published her first memoir, Then Again Through Random House. She was born 1946 and died October 11, 2025, at the age of 79 years. Her health had deteriorated in the months leading up to her death, although she chose to keep the details of her condition private. Ian Watkins. He was a Welsh musician best known as the lead vocalist and frontman of the rock band Lost Prophets. He was later convicted of multiple child sex offenses. In 2003, Watkins appeared as a guest on the Hoobastank track, Out of Control, alongside Jamie Oliver, who was then a member of Lost Prophets. Watkins was also featured on the song It's High Tide Baby by The Blackout, from their debut studio album We Are the Dynamite, 2007, and later joined the band on tour. His career came to an end in 2013 when he was sentenced to 29 years in prison for multiple sexual offenses, including the abuse of young children and infants, as well as possession of child and animal sexual abuse material. His sentence was later extended by 10 months after he was found with a mobile phone in prison. Prior to his trial, his bandmates dissolved Lost Prophets and went on to form No Devotion with American vocalist Jeff Rickley. Died October 11th, at the age of 48 years, Watkins died after being attacked at HM Prison Wakefield, with early reports indicating that he was stabbed. Fede Dorquez. He was an Argentine singer, songwriter, and model. He gained recognition in Latin America and Spain for his pop and urban music style, as well as his successful modeling career in Europe. Dorcas developed an interest in both fashion and music, participating in school performances and local cultural events. At 18, Dorcas began his professional modeling career after signing with a Barcelona-based agency. His modeling work took him across Spain, Italy, and the United States, where he appeared in advertising campaigns and runway shows. He modeled for several major fashion brands, including Giorgio Armani and Dolce & Gabbana, gaining visibility in the European fashion scene. His musical style blended pop, R&B, and Latin rhythms, often drawing on personal experiences in his lyrics. Died October 9th, at the age of 29 years, Hébert Dorcas was shot and killed in Mexico City. According to reports, he was attacked by two individuals on motorcycles while driving after a rehearsal. Jimmy Shaw. He was an American film, television, and theater actor. Born in Los Angeles and raised along the northern coast of Massachusetts, he later moved to New York City on a journalism scholarship to attend the School of Visual Arts. He studied on a journalism scholarship at the School of Visual Arts in New York before turning to acting. Shaw received his early acting training at HB Studio under Uta Hagen, later studying with teachers such as Warren Robertson, Wynn Handman, Stephen Strimple, and Michael Shurtleff. Shaw began his career on the stage, making his off-Broadway debut in The Lady in Question at the Orpheum Theater in New York. He later starred in the one-man play Dream Man by James Carroll Pickett, which he performed in Los Angeles, Dublin, Edinburgh, and Madrid. In the United States, Shaw made guest appearances on several television series, including Major Dad, Beverly Hills, 90210, Sisters, and Will and Grace. Died October 11, 2025, diagnosed with cancer. Terry Buzzy Johnson. He was an American singer, songwriter, and music producer known for his contributions to popular music. In 1996, Johnson and the surviving members of the Flamingos received the Rhythm and Blues Foundation's Pioneer Award, and in 2001, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as part of the group. In 2013, Johnson released the Diamond Anniversary Tour 2013 CD to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Flamingos. He was born 1938 and died October 8, 2025, at the age of 86. Marinela Kelleru. She was a Romanian actress and comedian, best known for her work in television comedy and for being a member of the humor group Vua. Over the course of her career, she appeared in several Romanian films and television programs, gaining recognition for her expressive comedic performances and unique voice. Kelleru rose to national prominence as part of the comedy group U, which became a popular fixture on Romanian television in the 1990s. Her television appearances and sketches made her a well-known face in Romanian households. She also appeared in numerous film and stage productions. Throughout her career, she was celebrated for her humorous yet deeply human portrayals, blending satire with empathy for everyday characters. She was born 1959 and died October 11, 2025, at the age of 66. Tony Fitzpatrick. He was an American artist, poet, and actor whose work was deeply influenced by his experiences in the Chicagoland area. On stage, he performed at Chicago's Steppenwolf Theater and in various productions in New York City, while also appearing in several major films and television series. In addition to publishing multiple collections of his art and poetry, his work was exhibited at renowned institutions including the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Museum of Modern Art, the Art Institute of Chicago, the Museum of Contemporary Art Chicago, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and the Smithsonian American Art Museum, among others. Fitzpatrick's distinctive artistic style centered on printmaking and mixed media collage. Died October 11, 2025, at the age of 66 years, due to heart attack.